Well, good morning. Good morning. Wow, I'm so excited, and I look out and I see these wonderful faces, and I know that at 3 o'clock this afternoon you are going to be exhausted and absolutely different people than you are right now. I'm Kat Lehman from the Seaside branch of the American Association of University Women.
And I'm Karen Kenyon. I'm from the Astoria branch of AAUW. And along with Clatsop College, we welcome you to the seventh annual conference for women interested in going to school wings.
Yay! Be wonderful. Now, the important reason I'm here is to introduce a student that I have grown to really appreciate and I'm very proud of. I can't remember how many years ago it was that she participated in Wings, but I'm sure she'll tell you. And I'll let her tell her story. But without much more delay, I would like to introduce you to Melinda Cashon.
Hi, I just want to say I'm so glad you're all here. 5 years ago, I was in your same position. I just kind of want to tell you where I started and where I am now. When I was 14, I got into some trouble with the law. And at 16, 17, I decided to move out on my own because I can make it. And working those part-time jobs at minimum wage really doesn't pay the bills. Worked at a variety of jobs, KFC, Subway. Most of you probably recognize me from Ross. I've been there for 5 years now. But I decided that only I can change my future, and I didn't like where I was going. So I saw the Wings Conference advertised in the newspaper, and I thought, well, it's a free conference. I'll go and see what it's about. So I came, and I got to meet a bunch of wonderful women that I see again today. And they really helped me figure out, this sounds doable. Maybe I should try this out. So I had to start with my GED because I dropped out of school. Took me a year to get my GED, and the Wings Conference paid for my GED testing, which I don't think I could have done any other way. So after my GED, I decided that healthcare was kind of the area I wanted to go into. So I looked into the nursing program here, and I had a lot of encouragement from all of the people here at the college. They are so wonderful. They helped me with financial aid information. They helped me with counseling, because we all have those hard days. You just need to go and cry on someone's shoulder because you don't think you're going to make it any farther. And I applied for the nursing program after 2 years of prerequisites, and I got in, and I am now a second-year student. And I started where you are now. It's doable. I know you can all make it. And I just really want to encourage you to follow your dream and do what you really want to do, because only you can make that difference in life. So thank you for coming today. And I really hope that you get a lot out of this.
A woman who always inspires us is here today. She's been at many of the Wings Conference. I am very happy to present our State Senator Betsy Johnson.
Well, thank you so much for letting me be part of today. I was just dazzled when I got up here and then realized there were no parking spaces, and then came in here and found this room stuffed to overflowing. So this is just great. And I want to acknowledge AAUW's leadership on making this happen, as well as all the support folks from the college. But this is a very big deal. However, this morning I'm going to start with something that's a little less good. In my view, every day ought to be a learning day, and today is for me. I can't believe that a whole year has passed since I attended the Wings Conference last year. It's gone like that, and I can barely believe it. I've attended and spoken at lots of these conferences, talked to rooms full of women just like you. urged you to understand that learning and education are a path to a better life. But last year there was a special case in the room. She sat right over here, she asked for my help, we met, and I made promises to her that I didn't fully keep. I put all the elements in place, the mentors, AAUW, the college, the support, the pathways to fix some complex personal issues, but I never closed the loop for her. I never made all the connections hook up with each other. And the outcome? I let somebody down. She was walking a much steeper path than I was, and I let her down. But there is a teachable moment for all of us in this. That young woman taught me something very valuable about not letting life get in the way of making it to the finish line. It's not good enough to just have good intentions. You have to follow through. So I guess that's something that we could all take away from today. The good news for me is out in the hallway, waiting to speak, I was able to knit together all the pieces again with the wonderful Elaine Heck, who I haven't seen for a long time, who was a guiding light up here at the college, helping women just like you come back into the education arena and then hopefully onto good jobs. I got this young woman's number hooked up again, and we're going to put all the stuff in place on Monday. But I just want to leave you with the message that you're here today. Don't let life get in the way of making it to the finish line. There are going to be distractions along the way as you come back into school. Don't let it get in the way, and a year will go very, very quickly. I love talking at these things because this is a room full of women who are making the decision to begin the rest of your lives. You're here because you either need new job opportunities, you've got family responsibilities, and you want them to have a better life than you do. You want all the opportunities that education provides. And I just applaud you for being here. In fact, you ought to give yourselves a hand. This is a very big. My career is really testimony to the fact that a person can do pretty much anything they want to do. Prior to being your senator, I was a business person and a commercial helicopter pilot. I started a company in the 70s that I flew for and managed for 20 years. We did all sorts of things. We took bad bears out of the national parks. We fought forest fires. We made movies, Kindergarten Cop and Goonies, Date with an Angel, Free Willy. We flew all of the background stuff on much of that. And then having sold that company in the mid-90s, I worked in the legislature as an unpaid volunteer citizen lobbyist for some issues that I worry about. In Oregon, we still have a small enough legislature and an intimate enough relationship between people that are serving in government and voters that volunteers can go down and make a difference in our capital. And I did that for a couple of years and then ended up running for the House of Representatives, where I was elected 3 times. As I began my 3rd term in the House, Senator Joan Dukes, who had represented this area for a very long time, took a paid appointment from the governor, which meant she had to leave the Senate, and I was appointed to fill out her Senate term. And then last November, I earned election to my own 4-year, actually 2 Novembers ago, to my own 4-year term. And I now represent all of Tillamook, Clatsop, Columbia, a little nibble of Washington, and a little nibble of Multnomah County in the Oregon Senate. It's one of those kind of jobs that every time the phone rings, I have no idea what someone is going to call on me to do, with the exception of Juanita, who I see sitting there, and I know every time she calls what the issue is. Juanita is an absolute stalwart in advocating for people with mental illness, and was one of the first people that I met when I came up here, and so when the phone rings and it's Juanita, I know what we're talking about. But the rest of the time, when the phone rings, it runs a whole gamut of interests, and where I can be the shock absorber between citizens and government. That's what I see my job as being. What we've generally done in these sessions is, rather than having me grind through a long prepared speech, I'd much rather hear your questions, if you've got any about state government, or any of my comments about this conference and the value that you are conferring on yourselves by being here. One year, I think one of the most moving moments that I was here, and Karen's going to know exactly what I'm talking about, there was a woman here who asked, had all the doors in her life closed because she had been convicted of a felony. And the answer was no. All the doors in your life are opening because you are sitting in this room, in this college, on this day.